Hi and Assalamualaikum. We are from A24E are going to present about a business measurement tool called Descriptive Statistic. Without further ado, let's dive into it.
What are descriptive statistics? Descriptive statistics are brief informational coefficients that summarize a given dataset, which can either be a representation of the entire population or a sample of population. Why is descriptive statistics important in business? Better decision making, risk management, performance tracking, data-driven strategies. How to implement descriptive statistics in business? First, data collection by gathering relevant business data. Second, data organization by using spreadsheets, databases, or analytics tools to structure data. 3. Applying descriptive statistical measures, including mean, median, and mode. 4. Data visualization by using graphs and charts to interpret trends. And the last one, business decision making. Identify patterns and trends to improve business strategies, compare performance metrics across different periods or regions, optimize pricing, inventory, and marketing based on insights.
So for the first measure of central tendency we're going to look at is the mean, otherwise known as the average. So this provides an idea of the typical value within a dataset. It is calculated by dividing the sum of all the data values by the number of values in the dataset. So for example, you have the following data points: 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. You add all of these values and you divide it by the number of values. In this case, we have 5 values, from 5 to 25. So the mean is 15. So some characteristics of the mean. The mean is sensitive to extreme values or outliers which can skew the result. It is commonly used in various fields such as economics, education, and business to summarize data in a simple way. So the next measure of central tendency we're going to look at is the median, which represents the middle value of a dataset when it is arranged in ascending order or descending order. It divides the data into two equal halves, meaning that 50% of the values are below it and 50% are above it. So these are the formulas to find median for odd number of observations and even number of observations. For example, a company records the monthly sales in thousands of dollars for 7 months, 12,000, 18,000, and so on. So the first step is to arrange it in ascending order, and in step 2, you identify the middle value. Since there are 7 values, the median is the middle value, which is the fourth value, which is 30,000. So the median is $30,000. So for the characteristics of the median, unlike the mean, it is not affected by outliers, making it useful for analyzing income, sales, or customer spending data. In cases where data is not normally distributed, like salary distributions in a company, the median gives a more accurate representation of the typical value instead of the mean. And finally, we have the mode. The mode is the value that appears the most frequently. It is best used when you want to indicate the most common response or item in a dataset. This can be used to assess and compare performances for different parts of the business. So for example, you have a number set here of 0, 3, 3, 12, 15, and 24. So the mode, we have to find the most frequently occurring response. In this case, it is 3. And so that wraps up our measures of central tendency.
Next one is quartiles, the values that divide a list of numbers into quarters. Quartiles allow a business to see the distribution and spread of data. The interquartile range excludes outlying data in the top and bottom quartiles and examines the middle spread of data. Here is an example of interquartile range. It includes first quartile, median, which is the second quartile, and third quartile. Now, for standard deviation. It's a measure that indicates how spread out the data points in a dataset. A larger standard deviation means data is widely spread out, while a smaller standard deviation indicates that data points tend to cluster closer to the mean. For example, suppose you have the following data points: 4, 7, 10, 15, and 20. You first need to calculate the mean, and you will get 11.2. From the 11.2, we find the deviation and square them. And lastly, we average the square deviation, then take the square root. So what are the characteristics? It is sensitive to extreme values, called as outliers. Standard deviation usually used in fields like finance, quality control, and education to measure data variability. It also helps in comparing the consistency of different datasets. What about pie chart? Pie charts show how a whole is divided into different elements, such as total sales divided amongst different product types. For example, pie chart showing Apple's quarterly revenue by category in April 2021. 54% of it is iPhones, and then wearable 9%, service 19%, Mac 10%, and iPad 9%. Next, we proceed with bar chart. Bar chart is a visual representation of categorical data using rectangular bars. Helps to compare categories to see which is the most or least common. For example here, bar chart showing a clear visual comparison of sales performance between products. Now, how do we present the data that we receive from descriptive statistic? We use infographic, a summary of descriptive statistic. They summarize data and how it is used, better decision making, risk management, performance tracking, and data-driven strategies. And how to implement it? We collect data, organize it, apply statistic, we visualize it, and then use to make business decisions. For instance, two of the most used infographics are pie chart and bar chart. How do we receive the quantitative? By using mean formula, median formula, standard deviation formula, and also the mode, which is the value that appear most frequently. So through these numbers, business entities can make decisions.